I ask that whoever is meant to hear the information that I'm sharing today, that they show up for this live and that it reaches all the ears that it's meant to reach. It's our hope every single time, is that the people that are meant to hear us hear us. So if you're here, there might be a reason why. Might be some point in the message, or maybe you want to learn how to walk the living sky, which is what I talk about, true sidereal, and I talk about what the living sky looks like. I don't work in astrology in the tropical way. I work in true sidereal. Hi, how are you? How are you? I will be today, though, letting you know of a couple of things. One, I will be giving out a free card for whoever's here. Okay, so anyone who's here, when I give out the cards, which won't be right away, but I will be giving out a free card to anyone that's here. I will be doing the collective check-in using my exclusive Ethereum Tarot, which is designed entirely by me. And what it is a tarot deck that includes the ether suit. So it's got 93 cards instead of the 78 that a typical tarot deck has. You can use it as a typical tarot deck by removing that ether element, the ether cards, and the cosmic key. But anyway, we're going to do a collective check-in. But before we do that, I would just like to ask, how are you doing? How are you doing, Chrissy? Okay. How are you doing? Let's just hang on for a second. Oh, Mom's here. Mom's here on Mother's Day. That is like the best thing ever. I should send this out and see if my mom will come and join me. Hang on. I have to do sharing because sharing is caring, right? I'm going to share it to my mom too. I might even share it to my son. Only one of them is on TikTok. Aw. What can we do to help you with that? I'm sure that there's something that I can help you do. Do you know why you're tired? Do you know the source of your tiredness? Sometimes we push ourselves really hard. Sometimes life gives us a little kick in the butt. Mm-hmm. But if you know the source, I can help you eliminate it for sure. Or give you some things to help you out. Yeah, you should set up a free call. And because when we interact one-to-one, where it's not in this type of format, I find this format very performative, right? But I have a free call at my website. So you can just go there. It's linked in my bio, my website. So just go there, go to book a free call, and we'll talk about it. And if I can't help you, I will tell you I can't. I won't. That's the way that I am. But if I do believe that from the conversation that we have and from me sensing into your energy one-to-one, if I determine, thank you, love, if I determine that it's something that I can help you with, I'll let you know exactly what I would do for you to help you. Because there's a multitude of things that could be that could be causing chronic fatigue. So until I speak with you, I can't give you a suggestion because chronic fatigue is so small, right? Or it's such a common symptom to a lot of things. That'd be the best way to say it. It's so small as it's just that a lot of people experience chronic fatigue, and there's a variety of different reasons why. And we can talk about that for free. For free. I'm swearing, for free. Just book it's at the top of the website. It says if you have questions, that's the easiest link to book through. It's right at the top of each of the web pages. as a part of the header. All right. This morning when I did the reading, and I just wanted to reiterate that on Mother's Day, everybody is going to get a free card as long as you stay for a little bit. And yeah, no obligation for anything. No obligation for anything. Okay. You know, Jimmy, you know. All right. So I'm going to check in on the collective. This is collective energy. This may apply to you. It sometimes comes out in different ways, and we'll go through it as we go. And then after that, we'll talk about what the energies are of the living sky. So, you know, the transitions that we're going to experience this week from Sunday to Saturday, what we're going to experience this week as the planets transition. And this is looking at the living sky. So this is using true sidereal, not tropical. So some of the things will sound off to you. But if you go to the Sky Live, or you go to any, you know, free planet, you know, what is happening in the sky right now app, that type of, you know, astronomy app, it will show you exactly what I'm talking about. I use the Sky Live, so you can validate everything at theskylive.com. Okay. Let's check in on the energy. But first I have to clear my energy. Ooh. I also have a sale. I also have a sale. I started a sale today. So you can go to the website and you can book any of my services. So that's any readings, any like any tarot readings, any astrology readings, and any one-to-one, like my nervous system trauma and nervous system support sessions. If you book those, they're half off until Friday or whatever the 15th is. Okay. And you just have to put the code Mom Day in. So I just decided today, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do that for Mother's Day. So we'll have a fast sale for 5 days, all services. So all readings, 50% off. Hi, Marici. Buenos dias. It would not be buenos dias. I apologize. It would definitely not. Buenas noches. I apologize. got my card taken away. It'd be like saying the wrong time of day. How are you doing? Whoops. Look at, we got some cards coming. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. We're not dealing with these cards. Remember, I said I was going to get clean first, because I was very excited energy, and that can sometimes make the cards pop really, really fast, right? So I have to be mindful of my energy and make sure that it's clean, or the cards aren't going to be clean and the reading is not going to be clean. It's an important thing as a reader to make sure that your energy is neutral, right? You're not putting anything into it that doesn't need to be there. So I'm just going to take a couple of breaths, and you can breathe with me, because, you know, that'll bring you to center. And that's something that I love to do. I am going to take one breath in through my nose, into my belly, out through my mouth, making the exhale longer than the inhale. Simple as that. That's all you have to do. Okay. Mother's Day can be a very challenging day for people. Another breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Right? It can be a very lovely day, but if we have any complications with our families, then we have complications with these days. They can be very challenging. If we've lost a loved one, these days can be very challenging. So another breath in and out. I have seen a lot of people who have experienced loss this year. I have seen moms lose children, and moms lose, and children lose parents. It has been, like people losing their friends. It's, and I've been very, very lucky. I know that I have been very blessed with not having suffered a lot of loss, and definitely none as significant as my child or my mom or my dad. Aw, thank you, Debbie. Happy Mother's Day to you as well. Right. So my heart goes out to all of those women, all of those children, all of those individuals who have those challenges. for me, my only challenge that I have is that my family is several provinces away from me, so I didn't get to spend it with them in person, but I got to spend plenty of time with my child and, well, with one of my children. My other child, he did message me, but we talk all the time. So, I talked to my mom today like that. I did FaceTime, so it made the distance seem less. But for those mothers who have lost their children, I would just like for all of us to send out some extra love for all of those women, because if you're a mom, you can imagine how challenging that would be. And if you're not a mom, you can still understand how difficult that would be. And then we'll also send out for all the moms that have lost their children and for all the people who have lost their mom. So we're going to send out just a bunch of love for everybody. Buenas noches. We'll send out a whole bunch of love for all of those individuals that are experiencing grief or challenges on Mother's Day. Okay. And when we all send out that love and that compassion and that warmth and peace, us all sharing that together, it's important. It's big. It's, there is a lot of power to how more of us that come together, right? Like how powerful that is for the energy, how much it amplifies what we're sharing. So if you're focusing on the same thing that I'm focusing on, it's amplifying it significantly. And we're also creating little powerful energy centers, in these different nodes all over the place, right? Mauritius in Costa Rica, and, I'm in Canada, and I'm not sure where everybody that's on is from. Myers is from Canada as well, but not the same location either, right? Canada's pretty big. So, we have these little powerful nodes all over the world, and we're just putting that thought of love and peace and kindness and compassion out there for anyone that's having difficulty today, whether through grief or through trauma. So just send that out to everybody. And all of us doing it together is just a beautiful thing. Ontario. I was like, I knew you were east, but I was like, is he all the way Ontario? I used to be in Ontario. I was. Okay, let's check in with the energy and we will look at what the sky is doing. Oh, cool. Very cool. I was never down that far. I was more central is what you would have called it, more east of Toronto, but not quite as far as Ottawa, like closer to Toronto than Ottawa, but kind of in between. Yeah, on Lake Ontario, it was quite nice. I didn't always live on the lake. A lot of times I lived in very rural areas. I love living out in the country. We swam in rivers, we swam in creeks, we swam in lakes, we swam in quarries. We jumped off of don't do that. This is not an advertisement for how to live your life by any means, but we did jump off the top of quarries and stuff like that, which was pretty crazy when I look back on it. But that's because I became a mom, and if I thought about my children doing that, it would be like, oh, right. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to them. All right, let's see. Yes, let's see what the cars are. No, not so much. Close in age, but not so much jumping anymore. No. All right. What else does this collective need? What are we doing right now? What is the collective energy that we're experiencing? Okay. Oh, that was almost a whole bunch of them. Okay. Whoop. All right. They're hopping tonight. This is nice. Hi, hello, God's chosen. Whoa, that one said right there. Ooh, you should have seen which one that was. I tucked it back in there. Oh, I saw the cosmic key briefly. That one came out this morning when we were doing when I did the timeless tarot. Okay, we will talk about that card maybe. But let me pick up these ones and this one. I think we've got them all. Okay. Whew. We've got a lot that came out. Let's see the direction of the cards though, because that obviously is going to impact what the collective energy is. And there's a lot. So I'll try to go through it a little quicker because sometimes I probably channel a little too much along the way. All right. Upside down, upside down, upside down. Both of those ones. Okay, they're upright. Okay. Upside down, upside down, upright, 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 upside down. Okay, we've got a lot of upside down energy here. And that doesn't necessarily mean negativity, although sometimes it can. And remember, this is the collective energy. This is what the collective is experiencing. And I think that there are almost two different collective experiences that we're having, right? There are some of us that I think are going to be having the more upright experience, where there are the other of us, hi Nook Nook, that are having the more inverted experience. Right? It all depends on what you're doing in your healing and awakening journey, which part of the experience that you're having. So for those that are fully in the matrix, right, that they're fully invested in everything that's going on the news and, are still polarized with left, right, black, white, all of that stuff, that the labels that polarize us. If you're still living in that divisive space, then you're probably experiencing more of the inverted cards. Whereas if you're somebody that is aware of unity consciousness, you're more than likely experiencing the upright cards. That's how I like to look at how the cards come out. Okay. All right. And remember, after we do our little check-in, I'll give some cards. Okay. So everyone can have a free card today for Mother's Day. And a reminder that my sale starts on all services, 50% off for 5 days only. And it's just a Mother's Day flash sale. Enter Mom Day, all one word, as a code during checkout. Okay, let's see what the cards say. So we had the 7 of Fire in the inverted position. And what this card speaks of when it's in the inverted position is exhaustion. And there are many, and I've heard this from people. Some people experience chronic fatigue. Some people are just, drained. Once they get home from work, they are just done. And it's because they're leaking energy, or they're picking up other people's energy, or they're working in environments that are not suitable for them, and so on and so forth. There's a myriad of reasons why. Many people in society are feeling very overwhelmed right now. And if you're experiencing that, then it's very important that you start to work on your nervous system, because that determines what you can handle. And you want to be able to manage your nervous system, soothe your emotions. If you didn't learn healthy ways to manage your emotions or to express your emotions, right? If you didn't get trained that, then, because you were raised in traumatic environments, or, your parents couldn't teach you what they didn't learn. They didn't learn how to manage their emotions appropriately. So if they couldn't pass that on to you, then you have to determine, hey, do I like not being able to manage my emotions in a healthy way? Or do I want to do something to change that? And if you want to do something to change that, then actively seek out either, hi, I'm Tanya and I do nervous system regulation and all kinds of things. Check out Return to Center. But, sorry, that actually worked out perfect. And I made myself giggle, and I need a drink. Mostly because it's deliciously warm right now. I think I drink my stuff too hot. I should cool it down a little bit. Okay, so we've got this this energy of exhaustion, of feeling overwhelmed. We are maybe questioning our path, maybe, and for a lot of us we went, I did nursing. I did a lot of traditional jobs. It was actually quite funny how many different jobs and roles I've held. But, predominantly for 20 years, I was a registered nurse and in various things from emerge through to management. And I worked in a variety of different things. And, I can say with excitement that I flew around the world as a flight nurse, and it was very fun and very exciting. I did lots of different things. But this is my alignment, what I'm doing right now, because I feel like I'm genuinely helping people to get to a space where they can regulate their nervous system, they can understand their emotions, they can stop overthinking. My life has not been perfect. I stepped away from a very lucrative career. I was making really good money at the end of my nursing when I left it. And it definitely has not returned the same financial abundance to me through this route. But this is so much more aligned to me. And one of the things that I've had to practice all the time is staying calm when there's been uncertainty about what's coming next. So when you're in those moments where there's the void, not losing your mind and unraveling and, doubting yourself or changing a bunch of things, just holding on and knowing, right? It's learning things you have to learn along the way. Okay. So we have this exhaustion. So maybe some people are questioning their path, and I'm sure they are. They're looking at, hey, we didn't come to do this mainstream stuff. I want to do what lights my soul up. And there is also the energy of struggling to maintain control. Now, when we're looking at that collectively, when you look at the political landscape, when you look at the disclosure stuff, when you look at, all these countries implementing more and more control, you can see that there's this struggle to maintain that by all of these different countries. So that's the 7 of fire that came out in the inverted. So that may apply to you. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe all full of vim and vigor. maybe you're on your path. So maybe the other side applies more. All right. So in the reverse of the 6 of ether, this is when we are talking about resistance of moving forward. There's a fear of change, clinging to the past, and stagnation in spiritual evolution. And there are a lot. There's a lot of energy in, it doesn't matter which area you're in, whether you're in the diet industry, the health industry, the spiritual industry, does not matter. There are a ton of people out there that want instant, quick fix, overnight success, because we have been taught to have a limited attention span, and because of pills and injections and surgeries, to think that, well, there's a pill for that. There's something I can do right away, rather than, go and learn, healthy eating habits and practices. Because it's not just about the food that you put on your plate. If you're putting healthy food on your plate, but you're like eating crunched over like this and you're just wolfing it into your mouth, that's an unhealthy way to eat the food that you're eating, right? You want to be sitting upright. You want to, be breathing nice and slow and center. Like, you're there to have this meal to feed your body in a healthy way. But we don't eat like that, right? We eat sometimes as a social aspect, but we're busy, maybe talking as we're eating, which is probably not good either. High choking risk. But nonetheless, there is, this clinging to what we are because we don't know what we're becoming. And there's that fear of the unknown, and that's instilled into us. It's programmed into us. We're told all the time to fear the unknown, instead of to be taught to embrace the unknown when you are prepared for what you are moving to. And that's all it is. It's about being prepared. Now, it doesn't mean perfection, because there is no such thing as perfection. And that unveils itself as you step forward on your journey. Every step you take, you're going to evolve a little bit more. You're going to learn a little bit more. All right. So that's what part of the collective is. They're forgetting. They're like, yeah, exactly. It's progress, constant progress. That's what the spiral is, right? That's what the evolution journey is all about. It's turning, it's seeing those patterns that show up in your life and choosing to evolve beyond it, as opposed to either stay with it or devolve, right? If you're somebody who has routinely been calm, and then somebody says something to you and you get into a fight and you're yelling and screaming and then you start hitting them, if that's completely out of your nature, that's where you have devolved, right? But if it's been, a pattern of yours, every time that you get angry, that you yell and scream, then your chance to evolve is every time that you get angry, you have that opportunity to say, not today, not today. Today, I am going to breathe. Today, I'm going to step back. Today, I'm going to go and splash cold water on my face. Today, I'm going to ask myself, what are all the other reasons why my nervous system's up here? Because it's not just this one thing that has me here. Or when have I felt like this before? And what do I need so that I feel soothed in this moment, right? How can I be a good parent to myself? All right. We have the Ace of Earth in the reverse position. And so this is talking about always, right? That's the number one thing that we need to try not to go to, is the fear, right? Because that's going to keep us attracting more fear. The Ace of Earth in reverse is talking about missed opportunities and financial insecurities, delays, instability, and scarcity mindset. And that is definitely a big part of what we're seeing in society right now, right? We're seeing a lot of that within the collective. All right, we've got this Six of Water that was in the shadow. The Six of Water is when we are in the shadow of that. That's when we're really refusing to let go of the past. And sometimes without realizing it, you hold yourself to the past by the identity that you have, right? If you're always going around and saying, I was traumatized, I had a terrible childhood, I blah, 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 which those things are true about me, but I don't talk about those things all the time. I will use them when necessary, just so that individuals know I have lived experience with the stuff that I help people with, not just all of the training that I have. I have my own experience. So, but I don't talk about it because that's not who I am. I'm the healed version of that. And, so we have to be willing to let go of that. That can be challenging, right? We've identified as, some person in some way for a variety of reasons. And some of those identities we hold on to a lot. Some of them we were given by our families. Some of them we picked up through our traumas. Some of them society gave us. So we should be willing to look at all of the identities and labels that we have, plus our belief system, and scrutinize them. Why do I believe those things? Why do I feel that way? And when we actually sit and have those questions and do those things, that's how we evolve. We move beyond those. But this person, or when we're looking at society, they're trying to cling on. They're trying so hard. You can see the government. You can see like life. You can see everything just like clinging on. Like, can we hold on to the old? Can we keep that? Right? But the new is the new is coming. All right, we had the Knight of Air in the reverse position as well. And when it's in the reverse, it's talking about impulsiveness and reckless action, impatience, lack of clarity, rushing into a situation without forethought. And we're seeing a lot of this. Like, the stuff that's happening is so sloppy and messy, and there's so many mistakes. And, it's just making it seem very, very obvious that we're being played right now. That life is actually quite a show, and that, is democracy even real? Right? Where's central casting again? Like, we have questions. We have questions. Entertainment purposes only. You have to be careful with what you say. All right. So that night is that energy, and we're seeing that where people are making rash decisions, and that's what fear drives us to do, right? And if your brain's going really, really fast, or there's this urgency in it, then that's going to be making you make decisions sooner than you need to be. And that often is decisions that aren't necessarily aligned with you. We have death and rebirth in the inverted as well. And when death and reverse is death and rebirth is in the reverse, that's resistance to change, fear of letting go, stagnation, clinging to the past, and delaying your transformation. So it's like that, that caterpillar that needs to go into the chrysalis to become the butterfly. And it's like, no, just one more day, just one more day. That's what this energy is, right? I just one more day, not today, not right. But it's something that needs to happen. You need to let go of the things that are not aligned with you, because you can't have two things in the same space, right? If you want to have a healthy relationship and your relationship is toxic, you have two choices. Fix that relationship so that it is healthy, or get a new relationship, right? That's the only way that you have a healthy relationship. You have to take action on these things. So there is that letting go, and we do have to let the old die, right? If we're looking at building a new society, would we build it on the foundation of something that was corrupt, or something that was inverted, or something that was evil? Would we? Or will we build it from something new, build new structures from a solid foundation that is more humane and, more aligned with our truth of who we are, what we are, and how we're actually meant to live, right? When you recognize the veil being lifted, and that you are a spirit having a human experience, and that you're multidimensional and multigalactic, that's a bit of a different experience and a different way that we would live. It would be beautiful. All right. So we also had the Queen of Fire in the reverse. Now, a lot of individuals. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When the Queen of Fire is in the reverse, it's talking about self-doubt and burnout, overextending ourselves, and fearing one's brilliance. And we see this a lot. And that's because as the collective prices rise, right, but the collective wages don't, then people are having to work longer hours, take on other jobs, find ways to be creative. And it's so disproportionate. This is where we see there's these multiple realities ahead of us, right? You see that part of society, and then on the other side of society, $75,000 per plate at the Met Gala, $350,000 per table. Plus the sheer disgusting fashion, if you want to call it that, that they put on display. Like, it was just hideous, right? And it's just, when you look at it from the outside, it looks very satanic. It does not look like fashion or anything that we should be watching, right? And it's just, so we have these two disparities that are happening there, right? And we have the one side, people that are definitely burning out from that, and the individuals who are fearing their power that need to step up into that role, right? Whatever you came here to do, whatever lights up your heart and sparks your soul, that's what you're meant to do. So do it, because the sooner that you do it, the sooner that you're going to awaken the people that you're meant to awaken, because we do, whether we realize it or not, whether it's a direct thing like here or not, right? There's a lot of indirect ways that we impact people, and we don't even realize it. All right. We also had the King of Ether in the inverted position. The King of Ether, this is struggling with responsibility. And we are seeing that. Hi, Nook Nook. We're feeling disconnected from the divine truth. There's a huge amount of that in society right now, right? There's so many of us that are lost. We're like, okay, so we've got aliens are real. We've got the Epstein files. We've got all this stuff that's real, right? This is stuff that's on the news. This is stuff that's out there. It's not, conspiracy or anything. This is stuff that's out there. So we have this information, and that can be really shattering for the foundation of many people who didn't believe that, or, how they grapple with, God in a heaven and, Satan in a hell, when there's now aliens out there and things like, it's really disturbing. And there's a lot, right? A lot of smoke and mirrors. Absolutely. Right. There's a lot of illusions. There's a lot of games. It's just all kinds of that stuff. So we do feel disconnected from the divine truth because your body knows it. Your body knows what the truth is. Your brain can be manipulated, but your body knows. Your body sends a very real signal of what the truth is to you, and it arrives before it hits your mind, right? So we're definitely seeing that, and there is this resistance of the full embodiment of our divine power. Many of us have an inkling of who and what we are. Some of us know more, but are we living it, right? Are we practicing it? When I think about someone like Bruce Lee was Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee did the work, right? Bruce Lee did the breath work. Bruce Lee did the mind work. Bruce Lee did the practices, right? Like Bruce Lee did the exercises. He did the stretches. He did everything that was necessary to become the way that he was, where he had mastered energy. Right. And, so it's not about us not being able to do that. It's about us not applying ourselves and refining ourselves to become that, because we all have that within us. We just have to remember it. So that resisting the divine power, the divine, like the actual divine embodiment of our full power, that's happening with many of us. And we need the more, like I said, the more that wake up, the more important it is. And that's why this card, which kept coming out, and it's the 6 of Fire. The 6 of Fire in the reverse is really being afraid to be on display. This is where a lot of us have those persecution wounds, or, where we have been maybe humiliated in public, or we've been made to feel like we don't know what we're talking about. So a lot of that imposter syndrome. When it's in the reverse, there can be a sense of an inner victory, but it's not showing itself in the outer space yet, right? And for many of us, there is, like, you get to the point where you're mastering your nervous system, let's say, but the finances haven't started to flow yet, but you're still staying in that mastering your nervous system space. So that's there's an inner victory of, yes, like it doesn't matter what happens, calm, peaceful, just going with the flow, trust in the universe. It's all good. That's a beautiful thing, but it's that inner victory, and it results in self-validation, which many of us are looking externally for. So there is that level of it, but this is that imposter syndrome and fear of the spotlight for other people, where, they're afraid, and that's what's limiting us, right? These people that have that beautiful power that they're meant to step forth and shine, right? Maybe they're an energy healer, maybe they're a grief person, a death doula. Like there's going to be a lot of need for individuals that help people with grief in the next while, right? So that's something that, if it's something that you've been lit up with and that's what you want to do, then you've got to get out there and do it. No. About there's going to be a great need for death doulas. I am not joking. All right. On the upright side, we have 2 2s, an 8, and 2 9s. Oh yeah? I love it. See, you're not on that pile. You're not in that pile. That's the other people. All right. We have the 2 of Earth. So this is also collective energy that we're experiencing right now. And the 2 of Earth is talking about balance, adaptability, time management, making good financial decisions, being very flexible. This is a very grounded, balanced, harmonious energy. This is a solid knowledge of your worth. This is a great foundation if you're building your business off of it, all of that. Then we have our two of fire, and the two of fire in the upright. This is about strategic planning. This is where we have visionary leadership. We are seeing collaborations. There's ambition and expansion. There's new partnerships. And this is really the beginning of a new, exciting journey. Okay, so this is what some of the individuals are dealing with, or this is what society, and it's a very, very different than what the other individuals are experiencing. All right, we have the 8 of ether, the 9 of ether, and the page of water. I thought I saw 2 9s, but I sometimes invert things, and I inverted my P and made it a 9. Anyway, here we are. So we'll look at the 8 of ether. The 8 of ether in the upright, this is the beautiful ascension, transformation. This is moving beyond limitations. This is accessing higher wisdom and stepping into the unknown. So this is the brave group, right? This is the group that said, I know I got to take a risk. And I know that I may not know this section right here, but I know at the end of the day, I'm going to be here. I'm going to have my company. It's going to be successful. I'm going to have my house. I'm going to have, whatever it is, that is your idea of that space. If it's a company that you started, these are the individuals that said, yes, I know at the end of the day, it's going to be successful and it's worth the risk. So well done. All right, we're going to do the page of water, and then we'll do the 9 of earth, just because ether. All right, so the page of water, when it's in the upright, this is talking about emotional openness, new love, intuitive messages, creative inspiration, and playful energy. So this is like that new love, spring, new summer, like when you get all that, it's just such beautiful weather and it's nice and warm, and, you're maybe out at the beach, or you're whatever it is that you like to do, or whatever the ideal conditions are for you, where you almost feel like that new love, right? That new love energy, which makes you feel very inspired and, energetic, and also seeing lots of, those creative ideas coming up. So that's the energy that everyone on this side is experiencing. All right. And then we have the 9 of ether in the upright, and the 9 of ether, this is fulfillment, right? So these individuals on this side, they are experiencing an entirely different life than what the individuals on the other side are. And you can see that when you step back from society and you step back from what's going on, you can look at things and you can see and go, oh, wow, like there is really like vastly different realities that people are experiencing all at the same time. So we have the upright is fulfillment, it's divine creativity, manifestation, spiritual mastery, and alignment with the higher path. So that's a very powerful card that we are experiencing on this side. I routinely, every time I walk through a doorway, I try to remind myself to say, I am on my highest timeline as I step through that, and step through with my right foot first, right? So those are little tips to do. All right. Pretty interesting energy out there collectively. And I'm wondering, do you feel that you can see these two different things happening simultaneously? Or even, it's even beyond just two. There's multiple realities that you can see. Like, think about the reality of someone living in Gaza, right? Or think about the reality of somebody living in LA, and like when I mean LA, like, like someone going to the Met Gala LA. And then you have somebody that's living, like everywhere that you turn, it's a totally different reality. It's absolutely mind-boggling. But when you look at the sense of those who are awakening versus those who are not awakening, you can see how many of us who are awakened, we're looking at really working on our nervous system. We're embodying the truth, right? We're living as we are supposed to live. We're creating the new things that we need to create in order for the old system to be let go of, right? That has to happen. All right. I did say, once I get my cards organized here. Okay. We're going to check in on the celestial alignment. We're going to do some cards, but I need to have a sip of tea because my throat is dry. And 444 on the time right now. I needed a big drink. I was really dry. I was really dry. Just ridiculous, eh? We went for a interview with with a radio station. It's actually with an advertising organization that has a radio station. And yeah, the have and the have not for sure. And when we were there, we were talking about that. Like it's, yeah, right? It's everywhere. All right. Oh, okay. I thought I had them backwards. Where are you off to, friend? All right. Who would like a free card for Mother's Day? Hello, Lawrence. Lawrence would like a free message for Mother's Day. So what does Lawrence need to hear today, Spirit? And what I do is I ask, prime source is Spirit, okay? All right, we've got the circle of life coming out here. And the circle of life, Lawrence, is I move with the cycles of life. Remembrance. Cycles organize growth and release. Resisting endings prolongs them. Accepting cycles improves them. So there might be something that you need to release in your life right now that you're holding on to, or maybe something has ended and you're really resisting that ending. It's the energy that comes up with this little card here. And it's just about, just understanding that there are cycles to life and allowing those cycles to flow. When it's not aligned with you, just let it go. Okay. So what your practice is to name one cycle that is ending, to complete one closure action, and then note what opens. So if it's something like a relationship that's closing, or, whatever, you could do, say, a letter that you write and then burn, right? Releasing the relationship and, and then just burn it as an example. Okay. All right, Chrissy, what does Chrissy need to hear today? Oh, the breakthrough, Chrissy. So your affirmation is insight emerges through patience, remembrance. Breakthrough follows sustained effort. Pressure builds until shift occurs. Consistency prepares for the moment. So what the message is that I'm getting from this is, we have to be giving ourselves a little bit of stressors. You're welcome, Lawrence, right? Like giving ourselves a little bit, pushing against the stressors. When we're doing our healing journey, I talk about the healing journey in the sense of pendulation and titration, right? As a nurse, we would titrate the drip rate so that it was either faster or slower, depending on how much fluids we wanted to give in at a certain time. And the same concept goes when you're on your healing journey. You're going to give yourself, go into the healing journey for as much as you can handle, and then you're going to step back out of it. And that's that pendulation process. And when you're in it, you're only going to take in as much as you can, and then you're stepping out. So it's that concept so that you're not overwhelming your system. And that's what's coming up, is making sure that you're going into it and not overdoing it, right? There's like I said, that pendulation and titration. But we do need to be putting ourselves against some stressors, because if we are remaining the same consistently and there's no difference within anything that we're doing, then we are we're at a plateau, or we're in stagnation, right? There's no growth occurring if we're not pushing ourselves to do something, right, in a direction. And that is not about hustle and grind. It's just a matter of, let's say, having a habit of painting every day, right? Or, making sure that you are always looking at the ways that you can improve your health, or peeling back the layer in your healing journey. So the practice is to continue one practice for 10 minutes, do not change it, and note any shift that you have while you're doing that. Because oftentimes we will do one practice, another practice, and we like ping pong back and forth, and we don't stay really focused on anything directly. So this is also asking that you stay patient with something, stay focused with it, and then allow it to come. So maybe there's something that you want to create, like I said, with the painting. And it's just a matter of just sticking with that practice, right? Maybe it's a 10 minutes. I love that. Perfect. All righty. Did you want a reading or a card? Anybody else going? No. Did anybody else want a card? Hang on. Okay. I'm going to shuffle that again then. All right. It might be that one. Not a mom or a pop. Doesn't matter. It is that one. Grateful heart. It wasn't about being a mom or a pop. I was just being generous because I'm a mom. So I'm doing this for me on Mother's Day. All right, you got grateful heart. Affirmation. Gratitude reveals the richness of life. Remembrance. Attention shapes experience. Gratitude expands what is working. It stabilizes mood and perspectives. The practice. Write 3 specific gratitudes. Feel each for 10 seconds and then continue your day. I like the idea of sitting there for 10 seconds with each gratitude and feel that before moving on with your day. And doing that for 3 of them. I think that's a lovely practice. But it is, the more that we focus on the things that are working for us in our lives, the more that we're going to see things working for us in our lives. But the more that we continue to focus on the things that are not working for us in our lives, then those things are going to continue to be the most prevalent things in our lives. Every day is a full day of potentiality, right? It's just whatever we focus our mind on and we put our attention on and our awareness on the most, that's the reality that forms for us. That's the potentiality that becomes the reality because of the focus that's on it, right? So you have to apply your focus and then take steps in the direction of whatever it is that your attention or your awareness is on, what your goals are. You have to take steps in that direction. Okay, let's talk about the week ahead. What we have to go through, what we're looking at. So we have, I'm just looking for my list here. Okay, so we have the sun is currently in Aries. It goes into Taurus on Sunday, May 14th. The moon will start off on on May 14th. It goes into Taurus, the sun. So the moon is in Aquarius today. Then on the 11th, it's going into Pisces. On the 14th, Aries, and then on the 16th into Taurus. Mercury on May 14th moves from Aries into Taurus. Venus is in Taurus and will remain for the entire week. Mars is in Pisces for the week. Jupiter is in Gemini. Saturn is in Pisces. Uranus is in Taurus. Neptune is in Pisces. And Pluto is in Capricorn. So that's the lineup of what we're experiencing this week. So right now we're in this kind of like somewhat of an in-between space because we're just about at the end of Aries season and into Taurus. So there's been some movement that started to occur from Aries season, things starting, things shifting, that kind of energy that's been there. But Taurus is going to allow us to stabilize or build what is going to hold moving forward. So right now it can feel like knowing that something's changed, but it hasn't fully secured or fully grounded just yet. So this week, like I said, the moon moves from Aquarius into Pisces, into Aries, and then finally into Taurus. So we're just going to watch the pattern, right? You see something, you feel it, you want to move on it, and then it either grounds or it doesn't. That's the whole week, right? So we have that idea, right? Just you're feeling something, that Aquarius idea. I want, like this great idea that I have, and you're going to feel it, right? Pisces comes in with the feeling. Yeah. Okay. That resonates with me. It feels it. And then Aries is like, okay, let's move then. Let's take action on this. And then Taurus goes, okay, now let's ground and see if this is going to be stable and what's going to hold. And whatever is grounded or is stable is going to be carried forward into the next week. So Aquarius lets you step back, you see what's going on, then Pisces softens everything and things aren't as defined. So people will start to think they're confused again with a little bit of that Pisces energy, but you're not, okay? It's just not solid yet. Then Aries comes in and that's that push. I need to do something. Aries, let's move. But that does not mean it's time. We have to be careful with Aries energy. Sometimes it can move too quickly. Aries needs to connect to their heart and that central fire, that flame, that soul energy, and they need to feel their body and soul move them forward. And that's when they know it's time to move. But if Aries is moving from the head, then oftentimes they can be making decisions too rash. Right. And that's with anybody or any time that Aries energy is around. That's something that all of us are a potential for happening. That's a potential that is a potential for everyone. All right. So it doesn't mean it's time, because Taurus is what decides what's real. Taurus decides what can be stabilized, what can be grounded, what is worthwhile, what is truly aligned, and what you want to build from and build with. So now we have our planetary layer. We have Mercury just about to move into Taurus. So our thinking is going to slow down. It's going to become more practical. It's going to become very grounded, and it's going to meet Venus, because that's where Venus is already in Taurus. So what you want is getting clearer. It's more steady. But you still have Mars in Pisces. So the action that you want to take, it's not sharp yet. You're still moving through feeling, right? So maybe it's more like, do I feel like I want to do that today? That might be a little more of how you're managing your time. I think I've definitely been feeling more like that. I'm usually a go, go, go kind of person, but I think I've had a little bit of energetically, well, today I kind of feel like about a 75%. And that's about what we're going to do, and be okay with that. So when we have that Mars energy, its action isn't sharp yet. So it's still moving through that feeling, like I said. And so if something feels like, this is a very good key in using this energy properly, is if something feels like I want to act, but I'm not fully there yet, that's normal with this energy. So just wait, because Mars is going to go into Pisces shortly. And when that happens, actually, let me see. When does Mars transit to Pisces? Pisces, May 18th. So next week, it moves from Pisces into Aries on May 18th. So we're not far from it moving into Aries, and then that's going to feel great, because that's Mars's home, right? Aries is at home in Mars. And so that'll be really great forward momentum that we'll start to have. All right. So the mistake that people may make, not everybody, because you're listening to me, you're hanging out with me, and you're getting the down low on how to work with the living sky and the true energies that we're experiencing each week. So the mistake that a lot of people make, though, is that they move too early. They decide things too quickly. They try to lock things in before it's really stable. They start building before there's a foundation, right? I've become pretty good at paying attention to the flow and the circuit that you go through, that spiral that I'm talking about. So even with my company, with my second company, I was smart enough to make sure I got all the legal documents, tickety-boo, right away. I built the foundation, I built the structure, I built it really strong and really, firm, because I didn't do that with my first company. I patchworked that together. I put it together as I went, right? And that was much more challenging. So I learned from that experience. So then the next time I was like, okay, we're going to build this in a structured way. And that was much, much better. So if it hasn't landed, it won't hold, right? If it's not landed in your body, if it's not, it's not true to your mind, to your body, to your soul, to all across all layers, right? If it's just your brain that's pushing you into that urgency, that fear, that whatever to make the decisions quicker, then that's not what you want to be pushing into action right now, making decisions with. All right. What has shifted in your life recently? Have you noticed anything? Has anything been changing for you recently? Are you managing your energy properly? How's your emotional energy? How's your nervous system? This week coming up, I'm doing the last 5 days of return to center. So you can still join, experience those 5 days live, plus get the recording for the first 5 days and a PDF full of lots of stuff. So you can check that out if that's something that you think you could need help with your nervous system and getting back to your center. They are meant to be short little practices that are less than a half an hour each day between the course and like listening to the information and doing the practice. So yeah, I'm just looking at it right now in my documents to see if if I can determine how long the videos are. I can try to bring it up and then quickly pause it or mute it so it doesn't make a whole bunch of noise. I got it. So the first one's 22 minutes. That might be the longest one because I had to talk a little bit more about the program, what to expect. We'll see. I'm going to tell you. This one's 16 minutes, so definitely much shorter. Okay, so we've got so far the first day at 22 minutes. Oh yeah, this one's 2 days back to back. So the one's a little bit longer, but I had a new student show up for that day, so I did talk about. No, that's 13 minutes. Never mind. That's 13 minutes. I thought it was a longer one. This one's 16 minutes. So yeah, none of them are too long. If you're looking for something to help you to return to your center and to balance your nervous system, yeah, is available. You can do either the live version or you can hang out. Hello, I can give you a free card. I was doing that earlier. So that's the energies that we're dealing with this week. Oh, my return to center program. There's a turning point card for you, sir, or madam. I don't know. There's a card for you. So I put my cup down right where. Okay, there. I moved it, so now I can see. Okay, so I allow life to redirect me when needed. Remembrance, redirection is not failure; it is course correction. Stopping one path opens another. Flexibility preserves energy. Identify one area to pivot, define a new direction, and take one aligned action. So there's something that you need to make a little shift on, or a little change in direction. It could be something, yeah, Mr. Sir, whatever, Mrs. Ma'am, sure. I mean, it's a name. It could be anything, and images don't necessarily convey the truth of it. Mr. Sir, Madame, he, she, he, them, they. Would you say them all? I don't know. I'm in my house. I just know me. That's all I know. Mm. Yes. Okay. So how's everybody doing? How's your nervous system? What can I help you with? What can we talk about? What do you need guidance on? What do we want to have a conversation about? Do you feel fully equipped to work with the energies of the week? Did you want to hear more about return to center? If you're having a problem with nervous system regulation, or feeling overwhelmed or scattered. Yeah, that one's 15 minutes. So far, that 22 minutes for the first day is the longest one. Yeah. I have to do my puzzle. Hang on. Yeah, I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean with that. I think a lot of people experience that. Yeah. May 1st was a good change, hey, with all of it. The full moon, Beltane. Pretty sure it was the full moon on the 1st. Yeah. And is there one area in particular that you're feeling stuck, Chrissy? Yeah. Nice. My chair swings. I can't help but I keep swinging it, trying not to, but but I like to make it swing. Aw. We're going to fix that. We're going to look at it. We're going to fix it. We're going to look at it. We'll figure it out. I have a good feeling about it. I agree. I remember when I was dealing with all of the illnesses, and like I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and then when I took time off for that, I ended up with all my trauma. So then I got the lovely diagnosis of CPTSD and anxiety, depression, panic disorder, and functional neurological disorder. And so, you're just getting all these acronyms on ADHD and, probably a bit of autism as well. So you get tossed all these different acronyms. And I tried doing what was asked by me of all the doctors. And after quite a while of doing that and not getting any better, I decided that I had to make changes. So I talked with my care team and said, let's start taking me off all the medications until I feel different, and then we can address where to go from then. And I was able to get off all my medications because they actually weren't helping me. And then when I looked at the real things that are important for your health, and I started really diving into that, it changed everything for me. And then now I'm not on any medications, and I don't actually have any diagnoses, and I don't even go see, there's no point in going to see the doctor. I'm just healthy. So yeah, that's a possibility for all of us. So the next day that I'm back here live is on Wednesday, and that's 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, so 9:30 p.m. Eastern for those that are following me from Ontario, because I did used to live in Ontario. Originally from Ontario, actually. So I will be back then. It is the embodied wisdom episode, which means we'll be talking about anything. We could be talking about the chakras. We could be talking about dimensions. We could be talking about the spine, the monad. I don't know. Depends. We could be talking about nervous system. Who knows? Right? We could be talking about a lot of things because that's the day where we have education and we talk about a variety of things. Whereas Sunday is about the sky and how to work with the energy, and Saturday is about sharing, because sharing is caring, and doing our global meditation on peace, love, unity, and truth, while also returning to center, because I like to help you to return to center. So that's all on Saturday. But on Wednesday, it's the catch-all. We just have fun and teach and have, whatever. But if you need anything else, you want to learn more about yourself, you can go check out the astrology or tarot readings that I have, because do remember that they are 50% off until Friday. And also that includes the trauma and nervous system support session. So if you'd like to have one of those sessions this week would really be the time. You're just, during your checkout, you're going to put Mom Day, all one word, as the coupon code. So that's to get 50% off any of the things that are listed under the services section of my website, which is linked in my bio. And I will see you back here on Wednesday. So yes, that's it. That's all. That's my Sunday night in a nutshell, and a happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And like I said, lots of love to anyone who is having a challenging time at Mother's Day because of either losing a child, losing a parent, or any of it, right? Trauma. Doesn't matter. There's lots of reasons why it can be a challenging day for people. So my heart goes, I send peace and love and kindness out to all of them. You're welcome. Thank you for being great company too. You're welcome. I saw your booking come in. Yay. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, Carsey. And I'll talk to you later, Myers. We'll see you guys on Wednesday, whoever can show up. And if you can't, I'll be back here on Saturday and Sunday. All right. Bye, guys.